Hello everyone, how are you all? I hope you all are fine. This is your chemistry lecture of grade 9, and I am your chemistry teacher Aparna Pandey from Art and Progressive School, Lamachor. So student, as you all know that in chemistry we have started our chapter number 2 before our PTs, right? Name of our chapter number 2 is matter around us pure? So, related to this chapter, one video is already shared with you, and in that video, students, we have discussed that in nature, matter exists in two forms, like a substance and a mixture. When we talk about substance, further we can divide the matter in two forms, that is, either like a pure substance as element or in a form of a compound. And when we talk about elements, I have explained you that elements exist in three forms like metals, non-metals and metalloids. When we talk about the mixtures, students, mixture also are of two types, that is heterogeneous mixture and homogeneous mixture. This all we have learned in our previous video. These things related to this chapter we have already discussed in our previous video. Now student, in today's video we are going to discuss about the new topic and its name is solutions. Solutions, solutions, or you can say solution, solution, solution. So student, as we have discussed that when we were discussing about the mixture, I have explained you that mixture exists in two forms. It can be heterogeneous mixture and it can be homogeneous mixture. So related to this only, now today we are going to discuss about the solution. Actually, what is this solution? If I say what is solution, then what will be the answer? Solution is a type of homogeneous mixture. Okay. So when we talk about solution, see what is solution? Solution is a type of homogeneous mixture. For example, homogeneous mixture means you have seen many type of homogeneous mixture in your daily life. Let's see what are these. Lemonade. In simple language you say Nibu Pani. That is, lemonade is a solution. Then we can say salt solution is a homogeneous type of a mixture. Then we can say sugar solution is example of homogeneous type of a mixture. Soda water is also an example of homogeneous type of mixture. So what I am saying? I am saying you that solution is a type of homogeneous mixture. And what are homogeneous mixture? Homogeneous mixture examples are like lemonade, soda water, salt solution, sugar solution. Okay. So actually what is the main property of these solutions? That they are homogeneous mixture. Now why I am saying again and again that homogeneous mixture? What do you mean by this homogeneous? So beta, in a solution there is a homogeneity in particle level. What I am saying? In a solutions there is a homogeneity in particle level. Homogeneity means where the molecules are distributed equally. Where the molecules are distributed equally. Means, see, as we have solution, suppose this is one beaker. Okay, suppose this is one beaker and this beaker contains water as well as sugar. Okay, this is the sugar solution. Suppose we are saying that we have one sugar solution. So students, I am saying that this sugar solution is a homogeneous mixture. So why I am saying that this sugar solution is a homogeneous mixture, or in this solution homogeneity is there in particle level. Why I am saying like this? Because when we are looking at the solution, we are unable to find the dissolved substance by our naked eyes. Okay. But I am saying that in this solution, it is quite tough for us to distinguish between the water particles and sugar particles. Okay. So that's why this solution is called the homogeneous mixture. So now I hope you all are getting what do you mean by homogeneous mixture? Mixture where the dissolved particles are undistinguishable, or where we cannot distinguish between the dissolved particles. We cannot find the dissolved components from the solution. Such solution is called homogeneous solution. So what we have learned till now, that solution is a type of homogeneous mixture, and in a solutions there is a homogeneity in particle level. Particle level means where we are unable to differentiate between the different particles which are dissolved together. Okay, so I hope this much is clear to everyone. Here I have taken sugar solution. You can take many type of solutions from your daily life. Best example is lemonade. When you are preparing lemonade, what are the items that you use? Lemon is there, water is there, then salt, then sugar. So after preparing the lemonade, is it possible for you to find separately that where is the lemon particles, where how much water particles are dissolved, and in which portion salt and sugar is there? Is it possible? No. So that's why such mixtures are called the homogeneous mixtures. So solutions are homogeneous mixtures. They have homogeneity. Okay. Now, when we say solution, then you have noticed that suppose whenever we have to prepare a solution, we need two things. One thing in which we will dissolve and another thing that we will dissolve. Okay, means whenever we have to prepare solution, we need two things. For example, for the sugar solution, what is there required? One thing is sugar. One thing is sugar and another thing is water that is required to prepare the sugar solution, right? Now, so what are these? What is this sugar? What is this water? Actually in solution. So beta, what we say, when we talk about the solutions, we say that solution consists of two components. Solution consists of two components. What are these two components? One is known as solute and the another one is known as solvent. What I said that solution consists of two components. What are these two components? One is your solute and another one is solvent. Okay. So now as I have given you example of sugar solution, so let's see in this sugar solution which one is solute and which one is solvent. Now see beta, whenever we have to see solute, what we will notice? Solute will always be in lesser quantity. Okay, solute will always be in lesser quantity and solvent is always in large amount. Okay, or in large quantity. Another thing is that the component that we dissolve, the substance that we dissolve is called solute, and in the substance in which we dissolve is called solvent. Means in the sugar solution you have taken sugar. Sugar is in lesser quantity, right? So one thing, it is representing itself as a solute because it is in lesser quantity. Another thing is that we are taking sugar and we are dissolving the sugar in water. So what I said, the component that is lesser in quantity is called solute, as well as the component that we are going to dissolve. the component which we are taking for dissolving is solute. So when we will consider this sugar solution, then we can see very easily that this sugar is a solute. This sugar is a solute. And when we are talking about this water, then what is water? See, first of all, whenever we are making solution, we know that we need water in large quantity, right? As compared to the thing which we are going to dissolve in it. So, water is in large quantity. Second thing is that we are going to dissolve sugar in water, right? So, the thing which we use in large quantity and in which the solute is dissolved is called solvent. In which the solute is dissolved is called solvent. Okay. So, what we have learned till now, we have learned here, students, that solution is a homogeneous mixture. It maintains its homogeneity in particle level. We are unable to distinguish between the particles by our naked eyes. Then, every solution consists of the two components, in which one component is solute and the another component is solvent. Solute is the substance that we are taking for dissolving and it is always in lesser quantity. Solvent is the substance in which we are dissolving and it is in large quantity as compared to solute. Okay, so I hope this much is clear related to solution. Now,
when we talk about mixtures, they can be of different types. Like in solution, one component is solid and the another one is liquid. Similarly, mixtures can also be of solid components only, and it can also be of gaseous components. Means here we have taken liquid for dissolving, so it is a mixture formed from solid and liquid. But there are also types of mixtures in which we take two solid components, and there are also types of mixtures in which we take two gaseous components. Let's see.
for example, you can say alloys. ALLOYS, alloys. Now, I hope this word you have heard earlier also. ALLOYS, alloys. What are these alloys actually? Alloys are the mixture of solid components. Alloys is a mixture of solid components. And what type of components it can be? It can be metals, the combination, it can be a mixture of metals and metals. It can be a mixture of metals and non-metals also. Okay, so alloy is an example of solid solution where we are mixing two or more metals and metals or two or more metals and non-metals. Now, why we are doing this? We are doing this to get much better properties of a particular metal. Okay, and these mixed metals cannot be distributed again by the physical methods. Okay, I hope it is clear to everyone.
Similarly, you can see that we have gaseous mixtures.
Here there are different types of gases mixed. That's why we say that air is a mixture of gases, right? So, this much we have discussed related to solution. Now, let's talk about the properties of solution. So, students, when we talk about the properties of solution, we can say that solution, first of all, the very common, solution is a homogeneous mixture. Second thing is that in solution, particles are distributed uniformly. Particles are distributed uniformly means we cannot distinguish between the different dissolved items. Another thing is that the particles in homogeneous solutions are not visible from naked eyes. So, it means that their size is very small. The particles of the homogeneous mixture are not visible from naked eyes. It means that their size is very small. So notice this thing that in homogeneous mixture, the particles have size less than, or we can say have size about 1 nanometer. 1 nanometer means 10 to the power minus 9. Right? This thing. Now students, when the particle size is very small, so these particles are unable to scatter a beam of light. Okay, because the particle size is very small, so when we are trying to pass the ray or beam of light from that solution, so this solution will unable to scatter that beam of light. Okay, because particle size is very small. So these are some properties related to solutions. So I hope that solution part is clear to everyone. Now this solution is an example of homogeneous mixture. Now student, as we have discussed about the solution and its property, now it's time to see what is concentration of solution. So let's see concentration of solution. So what do you mean by the concentration of solution? So beta, whenever we have to see the amount of solute in solution, the amount of solute present in given solution is called its concentration. When we are saying that what is concentration of solution, then what we have to see? We have to see the amount of solute present in the given solution. That is called concentration of solution. Now, in this case, solution can be present in mass as well as in volume. Okay, both the things are possible, that solution can be present in mass as well as in volume, and solute is always present in mass, right? Another thing is that students, when we are saying that concentration of solution, so from here two different types of solution also comes. What are these? I hope that you have heard saturated solution and unsaturated solution. When we are talking about the concentration of solution, then two new terms also we have, that is saturated solution and unsaturated solution. Now what do you mean by this saturated solution and unsaturated solution? So see, first I am talking about the saturated solution. So beta, saturated solution is a solution in which no more solute can be dissolved at a particular temperature. What are saturated solutions? Saturated solutions are such solutions in which no more solute can be dissolved at particular temperature. For example, suppose you are dissolving a sugar in water, okay, and you have kept that on gas. आपने एक container रखा है गैस के ऊपर, there that container contains water, and then you are dissolving sugar slowly and slowly, and you are putting sugar, then dissolving, again putting sugar, then dissolving. So beta, there is one state will come where you will find that even after putting regular heat also, that water is unable to dissolve sugar in it. Okay, why it is so? Because now the solution has become saturated. So such solution in which no more solute is dissolved at particular temperature is called saturated solution. Then what are unsaturated solutions? So unsaturated solutions are such solutions in which we can dissolve solute. means the level of solute is less as compared to saturated solutions. Unsaturated solutions are such solutions in which the level of solute is less as compared to saturated solutions. So these are the two terms which we come to know when we are talking about the concentration of solution. So I hope now it is clear to everyone that concentration of solution means the amount of solute present in particular solution. Then, or we can say the amount, yes, the amount of solute present in particular solution. And then when we are talking about the amount of solute in solution, then two types of solutions we have: saturated solution, unsaturated solution. Now students, it's time to see that how to calculate the concentration of solution. So for calculating concentration of solution, we have two types of formulas. Means we can calculate the concentration of solution by mass percentage, and we can also calculate the concentration mass by volume percentage. Now what is mass by mass percentage? Mass by mass percentage means where solute as well as the solution both are given in mass. So at that time you can calculate the concentration by this formula. What you will write? And what you will write here? What will be the formula then? Mass of solute upon mass of solution. Mass of solute upon mass of solution into 100. This is the way to find concentration of solution by the method of mass by mass percentage. Similarly, we have one more formula for calculating the concentration of solution when solvent is given in volume. So what you can write? You can write mass by volume percentage. How you will calculate? The formula will be mass by volume percentage. Mass by volume percentage of solution. How you will calculate that? What we will do here? Mass of solute upon volume of volume of solution into 100. So this is the formula for calculating the mass by volume percent of solution. Okay. So in this way we can calculate the concentration of solution. These now students, I have also explained you about the heterogeneous mixture, right? So let's talk about the heterogeneous mixture. Heterogeneous mixture. Now, as in first case, solution is an example of homogeneous mixture. Similarly, in case of heterogeneous mixture, we have two different types of mixture. One is called suspension and another is called the colloidal. Now, what is suspension? Let's talk about the suspension. S-U-S-P-E-N-S-I-O-N. Suspension. Do you know what is suspension? See beta. Suspension is an example of heterogeneous mixture. Suspension is an example of heterogeneous mixture. For example, what are heterogeneous and examples of heterogeneous mixture are like chalk powder in water, sand in water. So what are these? These are the suspensions. You can say smoke coming out of chimneys. These all are the examples of suspension. So actually what happened in suspension? See beta, in suspension the particles are not uniformly distributed. In suspension the particles are not uniformly distributed. Particles are not evenly distributed. That's why we are saying that suspension are the example of heterogeneous mixture where particles are not uniformly distributed, and the examples are the mixture of chalk powder and water, mixture of sand and water. Now when we focus in the mixture of, this is one beaker where we have taken water. Okay, suppose this is beaker and here we are taking, this is water, and suppose we are taking sand. Okay, so this is the mixture of sand and water. Okay, sand and water. So when we take mixture of sand and water, what we will find that here what we will find in this mixture that particles are suspended in bulk. Particles are suspended in bulk. Suspended in bulk means you can see that particles are suspended in bulk but they are not uniformly distributed. ये पूरे बल्क में ऐसे अलग अलग आपको easily suspended visible है by naked eyes. Okay, so in suspension the particles are suspended in bulk. They are not uniformly distributed and these particles are large in size and visible very clearly with the naked eyes. ये particles हमारे बहुत ही easily naked eyes से visible हो जाएंगे and you can distribute these particles by the method of filtration. आप filtration के method से you can separate the particles of sand from this water by the filtration method. So what are the things that we have learned in suspension? That suspension is a heterogeneous mixture. It contains the particles which are suspended in bulk. These particles are visible with the naked eyes. These particles can be separated by the filtration method. Another thing is that, students, as in suspension we can see particles from the naked eyes and they are large in size. So here they helps, it means they can scatter a beam of light. When we are talking about the suspension, as the particle size are quite big, so they can scatter a beam of light. Scatter a beam of light means, suppose we are sending a beam of light from here, so it can scatter that beam of light very easily. Okay, so this is called the Tyndall effect. This is called Tyndall effect. When we pass the beam of light, suspension is able to scatter that beam of light in different directions. Okay, that is correct. But now, students, what happens that when we put this mixture, when we put this mixture for few minutes without disturbance, when we put this mixture undisturbed for few minutes, what we will find? We will find that in this mixture, the particles of sand will settle down. The particles of sand will settle down like this and the water will be there simply. You will find in this way water is there and you will find that all the sand particles are settled down. Why did this happen? This happened because now these particles are settled down and these particles were not uniformly distributed. So they after a few minutes these particles get settled down and now suspension is broken. Means at this stage when particles are not suspended completely, they are settling down, particles are coming down in this way, then suspension is broken there. Okay, now what I said, the beam of light is scattered from this suspended mixture. But now in this stage mixture mixture is not suspended. Mixture is not suspended because particles are not suspended, particles are settled down. So now in this state, then again when we will pass beam of light, what we will find that now this mixture is unable to scatter light. Now this solution is unable to scatter light. Okay. So this we have learned in a suspension that it is a heterogeneous mixture, particles are easily visible, they get settled when kept undisturbed, and when the particles get settled down, the suspension is broken there, and after when the suspension is not left in mixture, then the beam of light does not get scattered. This is related to suspension. And this mixture can be separated by the filtration method very easily. Now another type of example of heterogeneous mixture, or another type of heterogeneous mixture is colloidal solution. So let's talk about that also. Colloidal solution, COLLOIDAL, colloidal solution. Now student, what is this colloidal solution? So, when we say that solution is heterogeneous, when we say that solution is heterogeneous but it looks like homogeneous. Actually the solution is heterogeneous but it looks like homogeneous. So such type of solutions are called colloidal solutions. Means the particles in colloidal solution are so uniformly distributed, though it is an example of heterogeneous mixture only. But in this type of mixture, the particles are very fine particles and they are distributed uniformly. They are not like in suspension. In suspension, particles are easily visible from the naked eyes, but in colloidal solution, the different particles are not easily visible. So, such solutions where it is heterogeneous mixture but it looks like homogeneous, such solutions are called the colloidal solution. For example, milk is there. The best example of colloidal solution is milk. Why I am saying milk beta? Because milk contains water also, protein also, fat also, right? Protein also there, fat is also there, some other things also there. So are we able to find these all dissolved particles from the milk very easily? Are we able to distinguish these particles? No, we cannot do that. So similarly, you all have seen shaving cream, right? Shaving cream is also an example of shaving cream, or simply you can say cream. It is also an example of colloidal solution because it contains different types of particles which are mixed together, and these all particles are actually they are mixed. They are looking like that they are homogeneous and they are not homogeneous. So such type of solutions in which the solution acts as a homogeneous but it is heterogeneous, such solutions are called the colloidal solution. Now in such type of solution, what happens that in colloidal solution, suppose this is beaker and in this beaker I have kept milk. Okay, suppose this is beaker and this beaker contains milk. Now this milk, as we know that milk contains different types of particles, but we are unable to distinguish these particles. So the uniform distribution is there. Now when we pass the beam of light from this container, from this solution, then what we will find that the beam of light is scattered very easily and in a very fine manner. Okay, the beam of light will get scattered in a very fine manner. Why it is so? Because Though particles are distinguished uniformly here, but their size is not so small that they will unable to scatter a beam of light. Particle size is small that we cannot see from the naked eye. That's right. But it is not so small like in solutions, because in solutions particles are unable to scatter the light, but in colloidal solution the particles have that much of size which allows the beam of light to scatter. And these particles are not visible from naked eyes like in suspension, and this also cannot be distinguished by these particles cannot be separated by the filtration method. Okay, so this we have learned related to colloidal solutions, that colloidal solutions are the solutions which looks like homogeneous but actually they are heterogeneous. Particles are uniformly distributed but they are quite big so that they can scatter the beam of light very easily. And there are different types of the colloidal solutions.
So students, you can see here that these are the different types of colloidal solutions where we have taken dispersed phase and dispersion medium to form types of colloidal solutions. You can go through this picture and see examples carefully. Now it's time to discuss about the Tyndall effect.
This scattering of beam of light. This scattering of beam of light from colloidal solution. The scattering of beam of light from colloidal solution is called Tyndall effect. And this Tyndall effect you can see in your daily life. How you can see this? I hope that you have seen sometimes the sun light comes inside from the hole. Somewhere from the window if there is hole, or you have seen the type of net in our windows. From there if sunlight enters inside the house, you have seen different types of dust particles are visible in that light. So what is that? That is Tyndall effect. And this effect can also be seen in the forest, from where the sunlight enters through the canopy of the tree. You know canopy, the top portion of the tree. So from the dense forest, when long trees are there with high canopies, so from where there, when sunlight enters in the forest, the effect that is seen, many times you have seen in the movies, films and televisions. So that type of light, that yellow light which shows the different types of dust particles also there, that is Tyndall effect, right? So students, I hope now you all are able to understand what is Tyndall effect. When the beam of light passes through the colloidal solution and gets scattered, that effect is called Tyndall effect. So students, in today's class, we have learned what is solution, what are the different properties of solution, how to calculate the concentration of solution. Then we have talked about the suspension as well as we have learned about the colloidal solution. So I hope that the things which are discussed today, you all will able to understand that. I hope you all will like this video. Thank you and have a nice day ahead.